YouTube, what's going on? Today we will be making a Smokey Chipotle Chili.
Alright, so the first thing you gotta do is you gotta gather your ingredients. So we got all of our ingredients laid out on the table right here.
Alright, so the next step, you gotta put on the gloves. Alright, so the gloves are now on. Now we're ready for the next step, which is to cut an onion. Alright, so when you cut your onions, you first of all, you're gonna cut off the sides of it. After that, you're gonna wanna peel off the skin, just like this. Throw it away in your discard. Alright, so after you pull off the skin of your onions should look like this. They look naked. Okay, so when we cut the onions, we're gonna cut it into quarters. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna put your hand on the back of the knife, and you're just gonna cut it down there, turn it. You're gonna cut it again, just like that. Alright, so now it's cut in fourths, just like so. After the onions are cut, we're just gonna put it in the food processor, just like this. Alright, so the next step is to lock the food processor. Alright, so to start it, we're gonna hit the pulse button to start it, so you just hit that. There it goes. No. Alright, so next step is you're gonna pour about a shot of canola oil into the pan. So now you gotta turn it on. Alright, so we have our red and our green peppers, and so now what we're gonna do is we're gonna cut them. We're gonna cut them by going around the top and then taking it out. So we're just gonna cut away from ourselves, just like that. Make sure you quarter it. And before you cut it, make sure that you take the label off of it on the side. So while we're finishing up the peppers, let's just get the onion sauteing. So we'll just dump it in here. Alright, so now we're just gonna do the same thing that we did with the onions. To the peppers, we're just gonna put them in here, and then we're just gonna cook them. Now we just gotta stir the onions up, just like that. Now we're gonna put the peppers in with them too. Dump them like that. Mix them all around. Alright, so next step is the jalapenos. This is really what determines how hot or how not hot it is. So what you're gonna do, once you cut the jalapeno in half, you're gonna take your spoon, and you make sure you get out all of the seeds in it, or else it's just gonna be way too hot and it's gonna be terrible. So just like this, you're just gonna go in and get all that up. Put it in the discard. So a couple of these we're gonna throw into the food processor, and then we're gonna leave the other ones for people to put on top if they want extra spice. All right, so the next step is the meat. What you're gonna do is you're gonna unpackage your meat. So you gotta get the knife and cut it. We're working with two different types of meat. We got pork and we got beef. All right, so the next step is to season your meat. So you got 6 chili powder right here. You have Chipotle chili pepper, and then we have spicy fajita rub. So we're using 80-20 beef. So now we gotta put on the beef on top of the pork. So just squeeze it out like that. All right, so now that the meat is all seasoned up, now the next step is to just mush it all around with your hands, just like that. Just squeeze it all up and just. All right, so now that the onions and the peppers are fully cooked, we're just gonna use a spoon to transport it into the pot. All right, so now we're gonna dump the meat into the fry pan. All right, so the next thing that you're gonna do is you're gonna use a can opener to open up the tomatoes. So you're gonna put it on the top like that, and then you're just gonna twist it. It's gonna go. Now we just pour it into right here. All right, so the next is the beans, and you're just gonna do it like this. Pop it up. Pour it all in here. So since we're doing a Smokey Chipotle, we're also gonna add some Chipotle sauce. They're not the same thing. Alright, so this is tomato paste. Beef broth. I'm gonna pour all of it in there. Alright, so the meat is almost ready, and once the meat is ready, you just throw it into the pot and you just let it simmer for about 4 hours. If you follow these steps, you also can win the chili cook-off, just like we did, with this as a prize.
I'm on fireball.
Alright, so that about concludes the video. Shout out to the guy who helped film this whole thing. Shout out Matt.